This set has the potential to be the most insane Datacron set we have ever experienced in this game, or at least for a very long time. It is no longer affecting certain factions. It is affecting specific tags as tank, healer, support, and attacker. Absolutely nutty stuff. I am really looking forward to it. Going to greatly impact the meta, and my god, is it going to be insane. You got to check it out. What's up, Knights of X, and welcome to the Datacron Set 25 review. We have reviewed plenty of different Datacron sets in the past, and my god, this one is going to be even more insane than the previous ones, I am telling you, because we no longer have to worry about certain factions in Grand Arena or TW. It is going to be affecting every single squad you face, and the level 6s of this set are going to be a absolutely nutty level 6. It is going to affect everything as we know it. It has been a long time since we've experienced a set that didn't focus on specific factions, but it's back for set 25, and what a time to do it. And we gotta talk about the focus Datacrons. They're also going to be insane. But before we get into all the big chunky stuff of like the levels 3s and 6, we gotta talk about the stats. So starting with the stats of the set, there are clear 4 strong ones in my opinion that are going to affect many different teams, and the ones you're going to want to go for the majority. Starting with armor pen and crit damage. Those are your damage ones. Those always do really well depending on the team that you have. If your team does special damage, it's not going to be a big armor pen cron that you want. But if your team does physical damage, that armor pen is really good to help offset some of the defense you might see on the focus Datacrons or very high defensive teams in general. So armor pen is a phenomenal stat to go for. The second, to ramp up your damage, obviously critical damage is going to be really good for those teams that rely on those big hits. So no problemo there. Health, obviously really important. There are many teams that rely on health or max health damage. So you can't go wrong with a health stat in terms of farming your Datacron materials. Health always going to be important. And obviously protection. Protection is always good on a JML team. Other different teams, you want to have tanky stats, like Lord Vader really likes protection. So the more tanky your team is, the harder they are to take out, and very beneficial as a stat for Datacrons. There are 2 I am putting in the decent set, and that is going to be tenacity and potency, because as much as they're not as important as the other ones, they still have a use. There are certain teams that require or benefit a huge benefit from those 2 different buffs. So tenacity and potency have a use. They're more specific for certain counters and certain teams, but still nice to have. The only one that is going to be the bad stat for the set, and I always put it in the bad category because I just don't think it really benefits teams greatly. Most teams have high crit chance anyway into their kit, and it's a wasted stat in my opinion. I mean, maybe a little bit of crit chance on a Datacron, but does not want to be your primary set. So the only bad stat I'm going to say for this set is crit chance. That's going to quickly wrap up the stats. We're not going to move on to the fun level 3s. Starting the level 3s, we got to talk about the dark side, and not as good as the light side this set. Always seem to be light side getting the major favorable level 3s constantly, over and over and over. Level 3 for light side is by far the better one, but for what we are given for the dark side ones, there are 2 clear winners for me, and the first one's going to be whenever dark side allies inflict a debuff on an enemy, they deal damage to that enemy equal to 2% of that enemy's max health. So the dark side factions are known for applying debuffs. So big debuff heavy teams are going to benefit from this damage. So like Malgus, Sith Empire, and Night Sisters, Lord Vader, really going to benefit from that level 3. So if you're going to have a level 3 for those, different teams, very specific to some, but very nice to have. The second one I'm going to recommend is if you have a dark side team that does not rely on debuffs or doesn't have any debuffs. Whenever dark side allies use a basic ability, they gain speed up for 2 turns. And that might not sound powerful, but gaining extra speed means more turn meter for you, taking more turns, less turns for the enemy team. It's a powerful stat to have, even on dark side. So I do like to have it. Speed up on a basic ability is very good to have for any team. Moving on to the decent. This is a decent one. It might help you in certain situations if you want to protect your team from a big an opening onslaught or potential full banners. So that one's going to be dark side allies start the battle with protection up for 2 turns. The only thing about this is that it can be dispelled. So obviously protection up is nice to have in the beginning, but let's say I'm using Lord Vader. I had put this on my Lord Vader team, and IG-12 decides to use his big, throw and remove all my buffs. The protection up is gone, completely useless. So as much as it sounds nice on paper, if it was undispellable, that'd be a lot better. So that's why it's in the decent category. There are 2 clear bad ones that I don't recommend for any single team. Whenever dark side allies daze or stun an enemy, they recover 10% health and protection. 2 situational. Obviously, the health and protection recovery is nice in terms of banners, but I don't think it'll ever come into play or outweigh the other ones we have listed. And the last bad one, I'm not a fan of it, even though it might help with certain teams that have high evasion. Whenever dark side allies are evaded by an enemy, that ally gains accuracy up for 2 turns. Then you inflict evasion down for 2 turns on that enemy, which can't be evaded. So I would never want to get this. I mean, maybe you get 1 if you're in a situation where you know you're facing a high evasion team. But I really am not a big fan of that level 3 in general. I think it's a waste of a 3. And that's why I'm putting it in the bad category. But it might be situational. It might be. That's going to quickly wrap up the dark side level 3s. We're moving on to light side. Light side level 3s. By far the best one of the set. Really, really powerful. And you're going to see later on I have a comment about CG. I think they want a certain team to be put away forever against the Ahsoka Tano. But starting out right away. At the start of the encounter, light side allies gain 15% max health and protection for each other light side ally. By far the go-to for the set. You're going to want this on a majority of your teams. It is so strong. You're pretty much gaining a bunch of tanky stats on a level 3. Sometimes this level 3 will outweigh the stats you get on the actual Datacron. So let's say you're facing a Ray team who has the light side max health and protection level 3 with a like 80% health Cron. It is absurd, the stats that come along with it. So that's going to be your go-to for the majority of your teams. The second one, which is what I want to talk about, light side allies start the battle with 25% turn meter. Why does CG not want Great Mothers to work against Ahsoka? Like, come on. That's like 2 or 3 sets in a row with 25% turn meter or some sort of turn meter manipulation. You really want Ahsoka to be free from Great Mothers, right? Anyway, this is going to be a situational one, which is going to help with teams that want to get out ahead or stop certain counters. So if you want to stop Ahsoka from losing the Great Mothers, 25% turn meter, you're good to go. If you want your Zori Resistance team to get out ahead, 25% turn meter, very good to go. The 25% turn meter is a very strong level 3, almost as strong as the tanky one, but very situational, and I think those are the 2 clear winners of the set. Try to get as many of these as you can. Next up, quickly going over the other 3. For the decent category, whenever a light side ally starts their turn with at least 2 buffs that can be dispelled, they gain 5% offense stacking until the end of the turn, end of the encounter. So this one's very strong, actually. If there wasn't the other 2 overpowering and overstepping this one, this would probably be put in the strong category. But I don't think this one will ever outweigh the other 2. You need to really let the battle like ramp up like a tremendous amount. So maybe there's going to be some iteration where you have a light side team where you can't get enough damage, but you have all the buffs to go along with it. Like if you have a JML team and you have Yoda constantly like bringing you buffs, that's a bunch of offense being given to your light side allies. So that's something to consider. It's situational, but still not as strong as the other 2. This one's also situational. I could definitely throw a wrench in some counters, but it's very low chance. That's why I don't like putting it in strong. At the beginning of their turn, light side allies have a 25% chance to dispel all debuffs on themselves. I remember specifically, I ran a counter. I was using Inquisitors, and they had Purge, and they were stunned. They had a cleanse on a very important target like Echo. I think I was doing Reva against Queen, and they had this Cron, and he cleansed the stun and the Purge and the ability block. He put the AoE daze, and it ended the counter. So this is a very situational Cron, and it can be used in a certain situation to stop your opponent. So that's why it's in the decent. And the only bad one, this is literally the worst level 3 of the entire set. Whenever light side allies evaded an attack, they gain offense up for 1 turn. Absolutely trash. You never want this ever. Just not good at all. But that's going to wrap up the light side level 3s. We're not going to move on to the, not the faction, but we're going to move on to the level 6s. Time to talk about the level 6s. Each one has a clear winner, each and every one, and they're actually the most important one of the entire Datacron set. The level 6s are by far the most important. Starting with tanks. This one's a long one. It's going to be referred to as the wordy Tankron for the remainder of the season. If you watch my Grand Arena videos, that's what it's going to be called. The only strong one. The first time a tank ally is defeated, revive them with 100% health protection. They gain a bonus turn, limit once per battle. Tank allies start for 1 turn whenever another ally is inflicted with a debuff. Whenever tank allies taunt, they gain defense up for 1 turn and 5% crit avoidance stacking until the end of the battle. That is an insane, insane ability. Whenever a tank is critically hit while taunting, they recover 15% health and protection. Whenever a non-tank ally uses a special ability, tank allies assist. If the enemy was taunting, deal 250% bonus damage. Just absolutely nutty. Absolutely nutty. There are so many teams with tanks. We have Leia, Ahsoka, Malgus, Vayne, Reva. I mean, there are so many strong tanks in this game. Chrysanthemum, like, this is going to be absolutely nutty level 6. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to get some of these. This is by far the go-to that you want for every single one. Every single tank Cron that you're running, this is the one you're going to want to go for. Now, these two and any other set would be considered very strong. But for this situation with that one, they're put in the decent category. At the start of each turn, if non-galactic legend allies have 50 or more turn meter, damage they receive is reduced by 75% until the end of the turn. That is normally a very strong level 6, but it is never, ever going to outweigh the first one. Next one, that's pretty decent, because it's very strong. The only thing is it can be dispelled. Tank allies start the battle with damage immunity for 2 turns. That could be pretty good. That could be pretty good in some situations, but like I said, not going to be anywhere close to that wordy one. 2 clear bad ones. Never recommend it. Whenever tank allies are stunned, gain 50% turn meter, recover 25% health and protection. Never going to want to go for it. And the first time each tank ally falls below 50% health, they gain damage immunity for 1 turn and gain health steal up. Again, situational, never going to outweigh. I'd rather have the full revive and health and protection recovery by far more than anything else. The ramping crit avoidance. So those are the real bad ones for the tank, and never going to want them for this season. Now it's time to move on to the next level 6. The next level 6 is Attacker, and again, another dominant, wordy one that's going to be the go-to for most teams. Whenever an ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, all Attacker allies gain accuracy up for 1 turn and gain 5% offense stacking, max 120%. That's a lot of offense. 120% offense is a lot. Whenever an Attacker attacks out of turn, they deal bonus true damage, Star Killer, which can't be evaded, and gain 5% defense penetration, max 120% until the end of the battle. Whenever Attacker allies use a special ability, deal 25% more damage for each buff on target enemy. Just insane. During Attacker's turn, they ignore stealth and taunt if they have no debuffs on them. I mean, you guys, look at it. It's insane. Look at everything you're getting. 120% potential max offense, 120% defense pen, can ignore stealth and taunt, you deal more damage to buffed enemies. It is just absolutely absurd. I'm thinking Malicos. I'm thinking Star Killer. There are so many really good teams, like, and attackers that it's going to benefit for. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be strong. Then we move on to the next 3, which are the decent ones, and obviously they have their uses, but not anywhere close to the other 3. Whenever a debuff on an enemy expires, Attacker allies gain 2% offense doubled if that debuff was dispelled until the end of the battle. That one screams to me Lord Vader. So, Lord Vader gives out a bunch of debuffs, and he has other teammates that will give out debuffs as well. When those get cleansed, Lord Vader's offense is ramping through the roof. So that is the one specific team I see that potentially having really good use for. I could see Lord Vader popping off with that level 6. Next one, whenever Attacker allies use a special ability on their turn, they gain riposte for 2 turns. Again, very good in some situations, but not as good as the other 2. Next one, whenever Attacker ally defeats an enemy, they take a bonus turn. So that's pretty nice. I'm pretty sure Cat is an attacker. So let's say you want to use JMK with Cat, and she does her insta-kill. She'll gain a bonus turn immediately. And she could probably keep bouncing back and forth if you keep going for, like, getting kills on her. So that's pretty good. Kylo, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, is an attacker. He'll keep gaining bonus turns, even though he removes the turn meter with Darkseid Rey in the team. They all get reset. But that one will have a use. The only bad one on the whole thing is whenever an attacker ally deals damage to an enemy and no other enemy is marked, inflict mark for 1 turn on the target enemy, which can't be evaded or resisted. So obviously mark is a good mechanic, but in what situation is that one going to outweigh any of the rest listed? It never is going to. Mark is a good buff or debuff, but never going to outweigh the other ones. That's going to wrap up the attacker one. We're going to now move on to the next one. Another absolutely crazy one. The healer, level 6. Insane. There's one clear winner. That's it. At the start of the turn, or their turn, healer allies inflict healing immunity on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or resisted. Whenever a non-healer character is healed by a allied healer, they reduce their cooldowns by 1. Which is very good. Whenever an ally falls below 25% health for the first time, all allies recover 50% health and protection. The first time an ally is defeated, revive them with 50% health, 2 stacks of heal over time for 2 turns. Whenever healer is critically hit, recover 15% health and protection, grant a stack of heal over time to the weakest ally for 2 turns. What are the flaws in that Datacron? 0. Absolutely 0. You're going to see later on, this with Barris is going to be disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. That is the winner of the level 6s. It is insane. By far one of the strongest level 6s ever, and outweighs all the ones we're going to list down below. The only one you want to go for. We are going to talk about the other ones, though. There are 2 decent ones, in my opinion, even though they're kind of never going to have a use. Whenever healer allies damage all enemies with an ability, they grant tenacity up for 2 turns on all allies. The reason why this is decent is because I think tenacity up is one of the strongest buffs in this game. Not being able to remove certain turn meter with certain abilities or apply debuffs is very detrimental to certain counters. So tenacity up is very nice to have, but never going to outweigh that wordy healer one. The next one is whenever healer allies recover health, they recover protection equal to the amount of health recovered. Healer allies can't recover protection this way more than once per turn, or if their health was full. Again, not a big fan of this one. 2 bad ones. At the end of each turn, healer allies recover health and protection equal to 50% of the amount enemies recover that turn. This recovery can't trigger this effect on enemies. We have enough healing on the wordy one that this one is literally a slap in the face to that one. At the end of their turn, healer allies recover 50% health, 50% protection if they're afflicted with at least 5 debuffs that turn. Probably the second worst. That is the worst level 6 of the entire set by far. Absolutely useless. Never going to come into play. Never going to affect any matchup. But that is going to wrap up the healer level 6. We got 1 more left, and it's support. Now, time to talk about support. And this one is also insanely busted. Not as fun as the wordy support Cron we used to have with, like, the focus Datacron, but still extremely strong. One clear winner. It's the wordy one. At the start of each encounter, grant all allies evasion up and tenacity up for 2 turns. Insane. Inflict tenacity down and invasion down on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. That is so freaking strong. I don't even think you realize how insane that is. Whenever a non-support ally is critically hit, grant them protection up, 20% stacking, max 100% for 2 turns. Good survivability. At the start of their turn, support allies dispel all buffs on all enemies. If evasion up, health steal up, potency up, or tenacity up are dispelled, inflict the opposite debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Just absolute bananas. Whenever a support is critically hit or inflicted with a debuff, they stealth for 1 turn. That one is also absolutely insane. This is going to impact so many teams. There are so many strong support characters in this game. Saw, Ezra, Luthen. That's just only 3 of them. There's so many support characters that are nuts. Nihilus. I mean, even though Nihilus is going to have a crazy one, but there's so many options for this. There are so many options. Those buffs are amazing. Those debuffs are great. Inflicting the opposite debuff, stealthing, gaining protection up. I really like this level 6. It's the clear winner. There are 3 decent ones. Never going to outweigh the wordy one. Whenever support allies start their turn with fewer than 2 buffs, all other allies gain 50% turn meter. This one's okay because turn meter gains are beneficial for your team. The more turns you take, the better it is. That's why I like that one. Whenever support allies grant a buff to another ally, that ally gains 10% turn meter. Again, turn meter gains are very good. Similar concept. Whenever a support ally deals damage to an enemy and no other enemy is ability blocked, inflict ability block for 1 turn on the target enemy, which can't be evaded or resisted. Pretty good to have. Certain situations, you don't want the team to, use their abilities. So, like, for example, if you're going to use Sith Eternal solo against Traya, and they have this Cron, the solo is no longer going to work because he's going to be permanently ability blocked by the support characters. So you got Nihilus, you got, I believe, Trey as a support, and yeah, those are the 2. So that's like a certain situation where if Sith Eternal doesn't get 2 turns in a row and he's permanently ability blocked, that's where that can come into play. Clearly, one bad one. Whenever support allies stun an enemy, they gain speed up, offense up for 2 turns, and inflict exposed for 2 turns at the end of their turn. Not a fan of this one. Too situational. Not many supports have stuns, or not everyone will have stuns. And even if you do get it, you're only giving yourself buffs and exposed for 2 turns. It's nothing crazy. So, that is going to wrap up the support level 6, guys. We're now going to move on to the level 9s for the characters. Okay, character level 9s, starting now. We're going to start with Tank. I didn't have enough room on the slide because there's literally so long in text that I had to do another slide for the strong ones, but there are a couple decent ones. I don't think they're going to make a major impact, at least where I am in the game, and even in Kyber 1 and 2, I don't think this is going to change any matchup specifically at the moment, but first one, Baze Malbus. If Chirrut Imwe is an ally, then whenever Baze Malbus or Chirrut attack out of turn, they gain 50% critical chance and equalize their health and protection. So, I mean, okay, they're going to land a crit. Okay, sure. While attacking out of turn, if Baze or Chirrut scores a critical hit, they both recover health and protection. If Baze has less than 50% health, whenever he takes damage, the weakest enemy is dealt 100% of that damage, which can't defeat them. So, at least that's stealing banners, but there are ways around this. If you just get rid of him right away and you have a banner recovering team, you should be A-okay. So it's nice to have, but it's not anything that's going to be crazy that you're going to want to actually go for. It's decent. If you have it, it's not bad, but nothing game-breaking. The next one. At the start of battle, if all allies are Empire or Imperial Trooper, all allies gain 50% health steal, max health, and max protection. Short Trooper gains defense up and taunt for 2 turns. Whenever Short Trooper loses taunt, he recovers 20% health and protection. It's like, when you look at it, it's not bad, but the Empire faction is in a weird spot right now. Like, you're not going to put this with Lord Vader and remove his clone synergy to the point where he can't no longer get that bonuses from them. And then you have, like, Palpatine and Mara Jade with Starkiller, and that's not going to work. That's going to remove the synergy. So, like, this one is not that good yet. Maybe when Darth Vader's dual end comes, possibly. Who knows? But it's still a decent one, but it's not game breaker. I don't think it's going to make Iden Imperial Troopers anything crazy. Next up, Sun Fac. Sun Fac has a 100% counter chance and is immune to daze and stun. Whenever Sun Fac attacks out of turn, he dispels all debuffs on himself. Sun Fac deals bonus true damage equal to 50% of his max health to the enemy. For each debuff dispelled this way, Geo allies gain 5% defense, max health, and protection until the end of the battle. So, don't get me wrong. This sounds extremely overpowered and amazing. The problem is that Geos are not good as a faction right now, especially in Grand Arena. As you know, in Kyber 1, I've never seen them. And if you put them on defense now, it's a slap in the face because they're going to get destroyed. For mid-game guilds and early-game guilds with Geos on TW, I could definitely see this being strong because they have a pretty good Omicron. So, if you take TW serious, this might be strong if you have the Omicron on Poggle. So, this one's good, but I personally don't think it's going to make a major impact in Grand Arena. On paper, it sounds good, but the Geos in general are just not that strong, and he's not going to have any sort of plug-and-play viability in any teams to make it useful. 2 bad ones that I'm going to say they're bad, even though my boy Clone Wars Chewie is a cool character. We're going to have a lot of him at Relic 9 now, so very good for anyone that spent the $5, but whenever he uses a basic ability on their turn, other allies gain 25% turn meter, so that's nice to have. But, like, it's Clone Wars Chewies, guys. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. He's not lightning fast. He's not taking that many turns. He's a tank. His kit is very basic. It's not going to change anything. Last bad one, and the reason why I'm putting it in bad is because there is literally no home for Royal Guard at the moment. He literally cannot do anything. But it's still, on any other character, or a specific character, this would be strong. Whenever Royal Guard loses taunt, remove 50% turn meter from all enemies. It can be resisted. It's not always a guarantee. But Royal Guard just simply does not have a home right now for this to be a use. So I'm not going to recommend anyone to go ahead, get the level 9 for Royal Guard, and he's going to find a use in Kyber 1 or even Grand Arena. It's just not going to happen. Maybe an old school Lord Vader team, but that's not going to stop Bo-Katan or any of the other counters from beating him. So that's clearly the bad ones. We're now going to move on to the strong, and there's one clear strong one for tanks, in my clear opinion. It's 5s. And it's not only locked down to just General Skywalker. This could also be used with JMK. This one reads, whenever 5s attacks out of turn, he does 150% bonus damage, inflicts offense down and healing immunity for 1 turn on all enemies, which can't be evaded or resisted. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. Whenever 5s loses taunt, he removes 50% turn meter from all enemies, inflicts blind on them for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. That's extremely strong. So, let's say you're using JMK with 5s against Kylo, and 5s loses his taunt. Everyone on the Kylo team is going to be inflicted with blind, and he's removing turn meter. So that's really good to have. I like that a lot. Even though if Hux has advantage, it's not going to work because they can't have turn meter manipulation. But if he didn't have advantage, it would work. But the blind is still nice to have, so I do think the 5s one is a strong one to have, and I'm looking forward to getting it. So that's going to wrap up the tank level 9s. Moving on to the next set. Next one we're talking about is attackers, and again, I didn't have enough room to fit everything on the screen, so we're going to talk about the 2 on the screen here. There's one decent one. It's Lando. Whenever Lando scores a critical hit, bonus damage from double down is increased to 25% stacking for the rest of the encounter. On paper, again, sounds nice. More damage, very good. But is he going to be a game changer on a Saw team? That's the question. Is putting Lando on a Saw team going to stop any specific counter because of this level 9? My opinion, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be a game breaker. But it's still nice to, it's still nice wordiness. Like, it's still good on paper, but not going to change anything. The worst one for the attackers, level 9, Count Dooku. Whenever Count Dooku gains stealth, recover 100% protection. Obviously, protection recovery is great, but it's not anything crazy. Not going to impact any matchup. Obviously, it makes him a little bit more annoying, but not going to change anything. Now I'm going to move on to some of the strong ones, and I'm going to move my webcam around for some of these because they're very wordy and they're long. The first one is Dooku's other one, and this one reads, Count Dooku has 200% critical chance and critical damage while he is inflicted with a debuff. Whenever a Separatist ally uses a special ability on their turn, Count Dooku Assist dispels all buffs on the target enemy. This used to be bugged. I had a video for Grand Arena where I had to face this team, and he was attacking out of turn a crazy amount. Absolutely insane. At the end of his turn, Count Dooku is inflicted with Disarm until the start of his next turn. Whenever Count Dooku takes damage during his turn, the weakest enemy is dealt 200% of that damage, which can't defeat them. It's a very good level 9. This is the one you're going to want to go for if you want to go for Dooku, or one of the later attacker ones. I think it's very nice to have, and I think it's going to be really annoying in Grand Arena, especially with the Starkiller team, possibly. Next up, this one's actually bananas. Resistance Trooper. Whenever Resistance Trooper uses his basic ability on his turn, he exposes the target enemy for 2 turns. Whenever Resistance Trooper attacks an exposed enemy, all other allies gain 20% turn meter. Resistance Trooper has a 50% chance to attack again and expose a random enemy for 1 turn. Absolutely really strong on our Zori Resistance team. Whenever Resistance Trooper falls below 50% health for the first time, he gains damage immunity and health steal up for 2 turns, and all other allies gain evasion up for 2 turns. This is going to be your clear go-to Cron for a Resistance team. I mean, the synergy with Expose, the turn meter gains, the attacks out of being able to attack again, the exposes on a random enemy. This is going to be strong. If you get your Zori Resistance team to get going, damn, this is going to be a major problemo. Very, very strong. And then over here, we're going to move me a little bit, and we got to talk about the Vader. Darth Vader, level 9. And trust me, his focus Datacron was extremely disappointing. Don't get me wrong. This is how it should have been. It should have not have been locked to the Trooper faction. That was trash. But here, we have some potential. At the start of battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies, Darth Vader can't be defeated until all other allies are defeated. Whenever an ally is defeated, Darth Vader dispels all debuffs on himself, resets all of his cooldowns, and takes a bonus turn. During his turn, he has 50% health steal for each defeated ally. So, this now works under a Palpatine-led team. So, let's say Vader can't be defeated. So an ally is guaranteed to go down without him going down. He is guaranteed to use the Force Crush, which is going to give him 100% turn meter, and then use Merciless Massacre and just pop off. So this is how it should have been. This is now going to be strong because it's not locked down to the Imperial Trooper faction. So once we get this, and possibly Darth Vader's dual end down the line, really good potential. So I really wanted to talk about that here. This is a better spot for this level 9, and I'm really looking forward to it, using it even in Kyber 1. That's going to wrap up the attacker level 9. Moving on to the next one. Moving on to the support. There's a ton here, and it's going to take a little bit to read, but the next slide we have the strong category. Now, this might be controversial, but in my opinion, I know it's really small to read, I don't think this is going to have a use. And I don't plan on getting my Ugnaught up to Relic 7 or 8 to get this Cron to work anyway. Ugnaught. It's still decent on paper, but I don't know if it's going to have a use. At the start of battle, Ugnaught has 30% evasion. At the start of each encounter, inflict breach and health down for 2 turns on all enemies. That's very good, which can't be evaded or resisted. That's good. For each droid enemy, Ugnaught has 20% counter chance, crit chance, defense, health steal, max health, and protection. At the start of his turn, Ugnaught dispels all debuffs on himself and resets all of his cooldowns. Whenever Ugnaught evades an attack, all allies lose 10% max protection, which can't be resisted, doubled for droids. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Whenever he damages a stunned enemy, he inflicts 2 stacks of damage over time for 2 turns. Whenever he damages an enemy with more than 5 buffs, dispel all buffs from target enemy, and all enemies are inflicted with 2 stacks of damage over time, doubled against droids enemies. So here's the thing. No one is going to have this character up and running. No one. He's been known to be the worst character in the game. The thing is, if you pair this with those support level 6, I believe that's 50% evasion. Because they're giving evasion up. So you stack that. He has evasion in his kit. If you can't hit him, he's going to have a problem. And he's going to be giving all of these buffs and different things to these different teams. So that is the major issue. But the thing is that I can't recommend anyone bringing him to Relic 7. Because if you bring Ugnaught to Relic 5, and you're facing Relic 7 or Relic 8 teams, and the gap seems to be increased, I just don't know. But I'm not going to gear him up. I'm not going to Relic him up. But still, it's a decent level 9. We're going to have to see. Next up, we have Ayla Secura, and this is going to be good on a Master Mace team. Whenever Ayla Secura attacks out of turn, they gain a stack of heal over time and protection over time for 2 turns, and they are inflict target enemy with protection disruption for 1 turn. So, she's attacking out of a turn a ton. With her counterattacks, protection disruption is a very good debuff. It literally removes the target enemy's protection. I don't know if it's going to stop Treya or Malgus, but it's still very good to have against any other team that might rely on protection. Next decent one is going to be Cad Bane, and for some reason they gave him 3. It's really bizarre. Whenever another ally uses an ability on their turn, Cad Bane assists, dealing 50% more damage. So I underestimated this the previous set where this was included. This somehow gave Jabba ultimate like immediately, or was very good on a Jabba team. I have to figure out and find out what exactly it did, but it was pretty good. So I'm putting it in the decent. It's not a game changer by any means, but it's still nice to have. Next one is going to be Admiral Akbar, and whenever Admiral Akbar uses a basic ability on their turn, all other allies gain 25% turn meter. This one's different, so like in 3v3, if you're running like potential Akbar Omicron with Leia or something like that, and you're going to get like a turn meter frenzy with Stormtrooper Han or something like that, that has potential. I'm not going to say it's game-breaking or overpowered, but it's still decent for him and his Omicron. You just never know. 3 bad ones, and unfortunately, Qui-Gon is in the bad category, but Cad Bane had 2 really, really bad ones. The first time Cad Bane goes below 100% health, recover 100% health protection and gain 100% turn meter. Okay, you're postponing the inevitable. He's not that good of a character. Don't think he's going to be a big impact on a Jabba team with this one, or any other team to be honest. Next one, whenever Cad Bane deals damage to an enemy, remove 25% turn meter from that enemy. Again, he's barely going to be doing anything. I don't think that's a very good one for him specifically, so I'm not a fan of it. And this one, this kind of pains me, but I can't see this making an impact on any matchup. Whenever Qui-Gon Jinn damages an enemy with a special ability and that enemy doesn't have Armor Shred, inflict Armor Shred on them for the rest of the battle. Whenever Qui-Gon Jinn uses a basic ability and damages an enemy with Armor Shred, inflict Explode for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Qui-Gon Jinn gains protection of 50% stacking for 2 turns. Haven't seen Qui-Gon Jinn be useful in a long time. Obviously, his Omicron is nice to have for like the early and mid game, but for the most part, he's going down immediately. He's getting killed right away. So you're not going to be able to inflict any of these Armor Shredder, these buffs with him regardless. He's priority number 1 for most counters. So that's why I'm removing him from the top spot and I'm putting him in the bad. Which now we got to talk about the strong ones. And I'm going to move me over here. And there's 2 clear strong ones for me. And I was potentially thinking about putting Cup in the OP category, but I decided not to. Most players might have him at Relic 9 if you do drop the $5, so that's a plus. But they're both very strong. First one, Coruscant Underworld Police, Cup. At the start of battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies, Coruscant Underworld Police gains the following effects. Whenever Coruscant Underworld Police attacks a stunned enemy, remove 100% turn meter from that enemy. Cup has a stun on a basic, FYI, which can't be evaded or resisted, and a random attacker ally gains a bonus turn. I like that. Whenever Coruscant Underworld Police gains turn meter, he removes the same amount of turn meter from a random enemy. Galactic Republic allies remove 20% turn meter whenever they damage an enemy, which can't be resisted. That right there is the winner. That is insanely strong. I love it. So think about it. If you put Cup on a Queen Amidala team, and you have two characters like Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan do back-to-back AoEs, you're removing 40% turn meter, and it can't be resisted. It says, whenever Galactic Republic allies remove 20% turn meter whenever they damage an enemy. Can't be resisted. Two AoEs, 40% turn meter removal. Insane. Insanity. That alone makes it insane. The only reason why it's not in the OP category is because there's a no Galactic Legend ally clause. So you're kind of locked down where to use Cup. Specifically, I'm thinking Queen Amidala. It's going to be his home for the season. But yeah, that's pretty much why. But the turn meter removal is insane. It literally says can't be resisted. I love it. Now this one, I'm giving a little bit of credit. I want to give it a shot. I think it has potential on a Saw team. Biggs Darklighter. At the start of battle, if Wedge Antilles is an ally, Biggs Darklighter gains 50% max health or max protection for the rest of the battle. Whenever Biggs Darklighter damages an enemy, inflict defense down and vulnerable on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Those are 2 pretty good debuffs. Whenever Wedge Antilles assists, which he will be doing quite a bit, he deals 50% bonus damage with a 75% chance to attack a second time, dealing 100% damage, and 50% chance to attack a third time, dealing 200% more damage. Wedge is a big damage dealer. He hasn't been relevant for a long time, but back in the day, early on, he was one of the best characters in the game. You put this on a Saw team, you're going to have the support synergy with the level 6. You got Saw and Luthen. So you're looking at a potential Saw, Luthen, Biggs, Wedge, and maybe either Kyle Katarn or Captain Rex. You could maybe have a very strong squad there. So I'm thinking that's where I want to put this. And also, whenever an ally attacks out of turn, Biggs Darklighter gains 5% turn meter. So I'm personally going to be trying to get this to work on Saw. I'll probably bring the 2 pilots to Relic 7. They are pilots that might help benefit a Home 1 fleet, so I don't regret doing that then. I'm going to wait till I get the Datacron, but that's my early opinion and what I'm going to think it's going to be useful for. Also, potential a Mon Mothma team, because they're always attacking out of turn. That Wedge could be constantly going. So it's either Saw or Mon Mothma are going to be the homes for this level 9. So, again, I'm giving that one some credit, trying to have some faith with it. We're going to have to see. We're now going to move on to the next level 9 Datacron. I think that was all of them, or I'm not sure actually. We're going to the next one next. We're all done with the level 9s. What I meant to say is the OP category. We are now up to the OP, and there's one clear winner. A repeat from one of the previous sets. Barriss Offee is the clear winner for the level 9s this set again. It reads, the first time Barriss Offee is defeated, if there is at least one other active ally, revive all other defeated allies, and other allies recover 100% health protection, gain 100% turn meter, and 100% offense to the end of the battle. Going to be a staple. Absolute staple in a raid team. It is absolutely bananas broken. Annoying. Pair it with the healer level 6 and the lights and max health protection 3. Get ready for Ray to be a powerhouse on defense. I am not looking forward to it. You better get some anti-revive teams to work, and it's still not going to be a fun time. Really insane level 9. I'm really looking forward to getting this first. Hopefully the rerolls aren't that crazy. That's going to wrap up the entire Datacron set in terms of the normal set. We're now going to move on to the Focus Datacrons and my reviews with them. We're going to start with 4th place, go all the way to 1st, and see what I did. In 4th place, I am ranking Captain Phasma in 4th, and it doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, but out of all of them, it is the weakest in my opinion. The level 3, 6, and 9s are very bizarre. I mean, it is unlike anything we've seen before. There is no synergy on any of these teams regardless. It's just kind of wacky. This first one might be strong for early game. Geo Soldier. Whenever an enemy takes a turn, Geo Soldier takes a bonus turn. During this bonus turn, Geo Soldier deals 100% more damage. This bonus turn can't trigger this effect on enemies. So, again, the problem is Geos are not a good faction right now. They had their test of time. Like, they've done well in the past, but just not relevant today. So, like, any other character, it's very good, but I can't see this being used in Kyber 1. Or even in, like Kyber 2 or anything like that. The level 6 reads, whenever an ally takes bonus turn, all allies recover 20% health protection. Ray Scavenger gains 10% offense, stacking max 160% until the end of the battle. So, they're looking for a weird synergy with Geo Soldier and Scav Ray. Whenever he takes a bonus turn, she's going to be gaining insane offense. But, like, In what world is Phasma, Scav, Ray, and Soldier going to ever make a use on the map? Imagine setting a 3v3 team with Phasma, Scav, Ray, and Soldier. It'd get walked over. It wouldn't even be close. So, it's very weird. And this one's a very weird one. I mean, it is insane. Level 9, Captain Phasma. During Captain Phasma's turn, she dispels all debuffs on all allies. If debuffs are dispelled this way, they gain advantage for 2 turns. At the start of each encounter, if Captain Phasma is in the leader slot, all allies gain 100% max health or max protection and 200% defense. That one is good. That's good to have. I mean, extra health, protection, and defense, you can't go wrong with that. That's amazing. Whenever another ally uses an ability during their turn, Ray Scavenger assist if she has no debuffs. Whenever an ally attacks at a turn, they remove 15% turn meter from the target enemy and inflict protection disruption for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Why does Phasma have synergy with Scavenger Ray? It is just so weird. I don't know what this is catered for. If this is catered for mid-game or early game, might be for early game. I don't know, but like, definitely not end game. I don't think this is going to impact anything. The only thing I see at the level 9 that's going to be very nice to have is all allies gain max health, protection, and defense. 100% and 200% defense. That's pretty good. That I do like. For her leadership is nothing crazy. Hasn't been for a long time. It's one of the most early game leaderships you've ever had in this game. So, again, it's a clear 4th place. Doesn't mean it's bad, but not going to have a use in Kyber 1. Looking at the stats, not terrible. 80% offense is great. 20% health, 75% armor pen, 25% crit chance, and 50% crit damage. So in terms of stats, if you're going for focused Datacrons for just stat purposes, the health, the offense and armor pen are great. It seems to be more of a damage cron and a little bit of tanky stats. This will have a use for stats. So don't think the stats are bad. That's probably one of the best things about the Datacron are the stats. But that's my clear 4th place. Let's move on to 3rd. 3rd place coming in is HK47, and I love the character. I'm a big Old Republic fan, but he's probably going to be in 3rd place in my opinion. The level 3 is Poggle the Lesser. Each time Poggle the Lesser inflicts ability block, he also inflicts burning for 2 turns on target enemy. Poggle the Lesser gains 10% turn meter, and all other allies gain 20% offense stacking until the end of the battle. So that's pretty good for a Geo team. That's pretty good. So if he's inflicting ability block, which he will be doing often because he attacks at a turn, all other allies are getting 20% offense stacking until the end of the battle. So again, TW, early mid-game players with Geos, this is going to be amazing for you. Endgame, I don't think it's going to make a difference. Just my personal opinion, I think Trey is going to still walk all over the Geos. Level 6, IG-86, Sentinel Droid. Whenever IG-86 critically hits an enemy, IG-86 gains damage immunity for 1 turn, 25% turn meter, and inflicts death mark on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. If the enemy was already death marked, IG-86 gains protection up, 50% stacking, retribution, and speed up for 2 turns. So this one's pretty crazy. So I haven't used this character in so long. One of the most early game characters like ever. But the death mark here is pretty good. The question is are we going to be able to get him to actually get to that death mark, or is he just going to get absolutely blown up? Me personally, I don't want to gear him up and relic him up at all. I want to focus on getting my other teams up and running for, Grand Arena combat, like getting my 5s to 7. I don't want to get IG-86 to relic 7 just for this Datacron, but it might have a use. Who knows? We'll see. Next one, the level 9, IG-88. If HK47 is in the leader slot, whenever an ally damages an enemy with ability block or fear, IG-88 assist shocks that enemy, which can't be evaded or resisted, and inflicts them with torture for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, resisted, and all allies gain offense up for 2 turns. So that's pretty good. The question is HK47 as a leadership going to really do anything for us and make it impactful? I don't know, but it still reads pretty good on paper. This one's a kind of like outlier. I don't know what this is doing in here, but Poe Dameron, it's going to be very good. At the start of each encounter, Poe inflicts fear on all enemies, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, prevented, or resisted. He's literally starting and giving them all fear. That's crazy. And exposes them for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever taunt expires on Poe, all enemies are inflicted with fear for 1 turn. I don't know why he's so scary, but everyone's getting scared of him. A lot of fear, which can't be copied or dispelled, and all allies gain 20% turn meter. Whenever Poe Dameron is critically hit while taunting, he gains protection up, 50% stack, 50% for 1 turn, Whenever a buff expires on another ally, Poe taunts for 1 turn. That's insane. Very, very strong. He's literally starting the battle and giving everyone fear. You might see some plug-and-play viability with Poe Dameron this year. Or this season. I mean, if I'm reading that correctly, at the start of each encounter, inflict fear on all enemies. That's insane. That's probably one of the best things about this focused Datacron. Absolutely insane. You might see some very good plug-and-play viability with Poe. And the level 15, HK47, this seems to be like somewhat of a repeat, I believe. At the start of each encounter, HK47 gains 75 speed. If HK47 is in the leader slot, at the start of his turn, he inflicts evasion down on all enemies for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with burning or torture, HK47's abilities are reset. Whenever HK47 uses Assassination Protocol, HK47 inflicts ability block on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Tenacity down, they are inflicted with Fear for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. So, HK47 has an AoE Tenacity down. That's an AoE Fear. Maybe this is the team's... I mean, who knows? Maybe you slot all of these characters into a team and they perform and do something well. Maybe if Poe gives Fear out to everyone, they can get going with their Death Mark and all this crazy shenanigans, and maybe we'll see. Maybe I'm totally wrong about this one. I don't think it's going to have a use, personally, in 5v5 Kyber 1, but you never know. I could be wrong about this. In terms of the stats, I'm a big fan of the stats. I like the tenacity. I really like the defense. 150% is great. Potency is very good. 150% crit damage is very good. And crit chance, just going to help guarantee that critical hit. But I am a fan of the defense and the crit damage. Those are very high numbers. Very expensive, though, for a focused Datacron, but still not the end of the world. That's 3rd place. Let's go to 2nd. 2nd place is going to be Boba Fett, and this one is specifically is the level 3 and the stats for me, personally. That's why I like it the most, because it's not the most expensive. But starting out anyway, Dengar. At the start of each encounter, Dengar inflicts doubt on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded, dispelled, or resisted. That's very good. That is insanely good. Whenever an enemy evades Dengar's attacks or resists the debuff, all enemies are inflicted with a stack of damage over time and thermal detonators for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. So this automatically, to me, screams out, this could work well with Balin. Balin is a mercenary. So, Dengar is also a mercenary. Sorry, Dengar is a mercenary. He's going to slot in with Balin. I know that he already inflicts doubt on non-GL teams, but if Dengar is going to be inflicting doubt on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded, dispelled, or resisted, that is crazy. That's one of the best level 3s of the Focus Datacrons that we've seen by far. Definitely gotta go for it. It's insane. Next up, Zam Wessel. Zam always critically hits if able. The first time Zam is defeated while they are active allies, Zam revives 100% health and stealths for 3 turns. Whenever Zam inflicts an enemy with thermal detonator, she gains 10% defense and offense stacking for the rest of the encounter, and there's a 50% chance to inflict an additional thermal detonator for 2 turns. So I don't know how much this is going to have a use. On paper, it sounds okay, but we haven't seen Zam Wessel used in a very long time, so I really don't know for sure. The level 9, Boba Fett. At the start of his turn, Boba Fett dispels all buffs on all allies and grants them defense up, heal over time, and speed up for 2 turns. For each enemy with a thermal detonator, they lose 3% tenacity and defense and tenacity. Whenever an ally is critically hit, they gain protection up for 1 turn. So this, to me, immediately screams he could be used in Jabba, possibly. That part right there is good for Jabba. Next one, at the start of battle, if he's in the leader slot, this is weird. All allies gain 200% defense. Whenever an enemy takes damage from a thermal detonator expiring, all allies recover 10% health and protection, gain 10% turn meter, and there's an 80% chance that an enemy is inflicted with a thermal detonator for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, prevented, or resisted. So, in my opinion, the leader slot one is kind of null and void. I don't think that's going to ever have a use. Maybe in 3v3, who knows, but not 5v5. It's really the level 9 for a Jabba team. You have your Bausch Leia inflicting a thermal detonator. They're losing defense and tenacity. That's amazing. And whenever your team is getting critically hit, they're getting protection up stacking. So this is going to be very good for Jabba. That's my, opinion. That if you're going to use this level 9, you have it at level 9. That's Jabba. The stats are also phenomenal. Very, very good. 80% offense, 105% armor pen, 75% defense, and 50% crit damage. Big fan of it. Pure, not even pure glass cannon because you're gaining defense, but the offense, armor pen, and crit damage makes you a absolute unit of a damage dealer. Big fan of the stats, and I like this Focus Datacron a lot. I'm definitely going to be going for it. And that's going to leave one. Who made it to first place? Let's see. Okay, we're almost at the finish line. The last Focus Datacron, the clear winner for me is Rex. Rex is very good, but it's not him that is the winner, honestly. It's not him. Even though it's pretty good, there's a clear winner one for me. Talking about the level 3, Thrawn. Whenever Thrawn resists the debuff, all allies recover 10% health protection, gain 20% health steal stack until the end of the battle. Whenever Thrawn attacks out of turn, he ignores protection. If the enemy is inflicted with burning, Thrawn deals 100% more bonus damage and removes 100% turn meter, which can't be evaded or resisted. So, probably catered more for early game players. I haven't seen Thrawn in a extremely long time. It's kind of sad because he's such a good character, but I can't picture Thrawn making any big impact in Kyber 1. But like I said, maybe early to mid game, possibly. The level 6. Whenever R2-D2 uses a basic ability, R2-D2 gains 50%. Gains protection up, 50% stacking for 2 turns, and 50% turn meter. Whenever R2-D2 damages an enemy using a special ability, inflict fear on the target enemy, which can't be evaded or resisted. So, this is kind of like that irresistible stun that he has, except it's fear, which is kind of cool. I am a big fan of it whenever he's dealing damage. Very good to have. So, whenever he's using his AoE, that's an AoE fear. Big fan of that. And, the basic, gaining the turn meter. This is going to be very good for a Leia squad. So if you want to use R2 with Leia, this is going to be a very good Datacron. Now, by far, I know it's very small to read. It's hard to fit this all into one slide, but Darth Nihilus. This is cake. I absolutely love this level 9, and one of my favorite ones for the entire set, and the one I'm looking forward to the most. At the start of each encounter, if there's another support ally, Darth Nihilus gains 100% max health protection for the rest of the encounter. So he's going to be really tanky. Whenever Darth Nihilus reduces his cooldowns, for each cooldown reduced, he gains 25% turn meter and 50% offense stacking for the rest of the encounter. Do you know how much damage that's going to be? That is crazy. He's going to be actually the Lord of Hunger that we've been looking for. Look at him. I have him right here. I've been waiting for this. I want him to absolutely cook people. Can't wait for this one. Whenever Nihilus defeats an enemy, expose all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever Darth Nihilus inflicts damage over time on an enemy, all allies gain 3 stacks of heal over time. He does that through his unique. Whenever Nihilus attacks out of turn, his cooldowns per annihilate reduced by 1. I cannot wait for this one. I really can. His AoE might be hitting for like 200 freaking K. Just draining all that life force. I cannot wait for that level 9. It's going to be that's why I'm going for it. All bias aside, I love KOTOR, but I am going for that. It's just the way it's going to be. The level 12 is General Kenobi, and this reads, at the start of battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies, whenever General Kenobi taunts, all allies gain protection over time for 2 turns, 75%. Whenever he loses taunt, all allies recover 15% health protection and gain defense up for 1 turn. So this is not going to work with the JMK team. It is simply not going to work. Whenever General Kenobi attacks during his turn, if he has Foresight, call other allies to assist, dealing 50% more damage to the target enemy. That's pretty good to have. The first time another ally falls below 50% health for the first time, Kenobi taunts for 2 turns. If he was already taunting, he gains damage immediately for 1 turn. That's pretty nice to have. I don't think I'm going to be utilizing this Focus Datacron with him specifically, but still it's nice to have if you want to use him for like possibly like a Padme team, maybe Queen Amidala possibly. We're going to have to see. But here, Rex, level 15. Pretty interesting. Might be cool in 3v3. At the start of battle, if Rex is in the leader slot, all allies gain 200% defense for the rest of the battle. It's pretty good. Whenever any other ally uses a special ability, Rex Assist, he removes turn meter on a basic, so he's going to be removing turn meter if he doesn't get resisted. During Rex's turn, if an ally is inflicted with Daze, Stun, or Ability Block, dispel it, inflict Protection Disruption for 2 turns on all enemies, I like that, which can't be evaded, dispelled, or resisted. Whenever an ally is inflicted with a debuff, all allies gain 10% turn meter. So, he already has turn meter manipulation in his lead. Gaining more turn meter with debuffs, very nice. Whenever an ally uses a stack of protection over time, they gain Foresight for 1 turn. This is pretty cool. I don't know off the top of my head how this will perform right away. In 5v5, I don't think so. In 3v3, I think definitely. I think he will definitely have a use. So, like, maybe we see a resurgence of Rex, Fives, and Captain Rex as a squad. You never know. That could be a very annoying team to deal with now with that level 15. So I'm looking forward to that as well. That's going to be really fun. There are so many fun things about this Datacron that you could utilize. Like, that's the thing. There's so many endless possibilities with the different level 6s and 9s and 12s and 15s. There's so many different teams you can utilize this for. So that's the fun thing with this one as well. In terms of the stats, I am a huge, huge fan of the stats. 65% health is great. The high defense, the high potency, the tenacity, the offense, all phenomenal stats and matches really well with the Datacron set, and I'm really looking forward to this one. It is by far the first one I'm going to go for, and yeah, by far love this one. We have one more thing for you guys, one more slide. I know this is a long video. It's my little Datacron set 25 cheat sheet and what I recommend for you guys to farm. Come check it. And here we go, the grand finale of this really long video. My throat is dry. I can't wait to get a sip of water. But Datacron set 25, my recommendation for the teams and the Datacrons you're going to go for, and exactly the level 3s, the 6s, and the 9s, and the specific teams you want. The only one I didn't include here that could potentially have a use is going to be Luminara. Maybe swap with Cup, but I think that it's a little situational, and you can't go wrong with either. But this is going to be my cheat sheet, guys. This is going to be available in my Discord in the infographics section. So if you guys want to get a screenshot of this, come join my Discord, go to the infographics section, and share it with your guilds, your little Vexatron's Datacron set 25 cheat sheet. And just to show you guys, this is what the whole thing looks like. I got my Focus Datacron order. I got the best level 3s for the set and the best level 6s for the set. So that is going to wrap up this video. And my God, this was a long one. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This takes a lot of time. Like I said, my throat is so dry. It's so much to talk about. And this is a very complicated set. So again, I appreciate anyone that stuck with me this whole time. If you guys did find this video useful, don't forget to leave a like on your way out. Leave all your feedback in the comment section down below. I want to know what did I get right? What did I get wrong? Leave it down below, guys. You got to let your boy Vex know. But as always, sub to the channel for more content and to be notified for future and awesome stuff. So, Knights of X, I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you all.